The UK Film Council was a non-departmental public body set up in 2000 to develop and promote the film industry in the UK. It was constituted as a private company limited by guarantee, owned by the Secretary of State for Culture, Media and Sport, and governed by a board of 15 directors. It was funded from various sources including the National Lottery. John Woodward was the Chief Executive Officer of the UKFC. As at 30 June 2008, the company had 90 full-time members of staff. It distributed more than £160 million of lottery money to over 900 films. Lord Putnam described the council as a layer of strategic glue that's helped bind the many parts of our disparate industry together. On 26 July 2010, the government announced that the council would be abolished, although one of the parties elected into that government had, for some months, promised a bonfire of the Quangos. Woodward said that the decision had been taken with no notice and no consultation. UKFC closed on 31 March 2011, with many of its functions passing to the British Film Institute. This had happened after 2009, when the UKFC had persuaded the government of the merits of creating a single public body for film, in which the UKFC proposed that the British Film Institute should be abolished, while the UKFC would take over all its assets and funding. However, the legal protections offered to English charities like the BFI meant that its proposals were dismissed in a QC's report as being legally impossible. Objectives. In its own words, the aim of the UKFC was to stimulate a competitive, successful and vibrant UK film industry and culture, and to promote the widest possible enjoyment and understanding of cinema throughout the nations and regions of the UK. The UKFC had a mandate that spans cultural, social and economic priorities. This represented a significant change from the UKFC's objectives when it was first established, when it stated its purpose was to create a sustainable UK film industry. Activities. The UKFC administered and funded a range of different activities, including filmmaking. Arguably the most visible activity of the UKFC was its direct funding for feature and short films. Between 2009 and 2013, the UKFC funded over 140 film projects. There were 3 funds offering around £17 million lottery funding per year for the production and development of films. The Development Fund aimed to broaden the quality, range and ambition of film projects being developed in the UK, with £12 million of lottery funding to invest over 3 years. The fund aimed to build a talent-driven home for writers, directors and producers. It helped filmmakers of all experience levels develop their ideas and screenplays into viable feature films, be they fiction, documentary or animation, up until the moment they were ready to get production finance. There were 2 funding programs, one for first-time feature filmmakers and one for established filmmakers. The first feature film development program aimed to identify and support emerging filmmakers who had not made a feature film or who had not yet had a feature film released theatrically or broadcast on UK television. Awards were made up to £25,000. The feature film development program was a dedicated industry funding program for producers, production companies and filmmakers with a demonstrable track record of success in feature filmmaking or in production in the audiovisual arena, looking for funding and financing partnerships. In total, it funded over 60 projects. The fund also offered signature awards to help further encourage ambitious and original filmmakers and projects. Funded films included Jane Campion's Bright Star, Oscar-winning filmmaker Andrea Arnold's second feature Fish Tank, Armando Iannucci's In the Loop, and Sam Taylor Wood's Nowhere Boy, written by Matt Greenhalgh. The New Cinema Fund supported emerging talent and established filmmakers working outside the mainstream, focusing on innovative writing and gifted directors. The fund had £15 million of lottery money to invest over 3 years and funded 8 to 10 feature films each year. It had a commitment to supporting work from the nations and regions, from Black, Asian and other minority ethnic filmmakers, and encouraged the use of digital technology in the production, distribution and exhibition of films. It also supported over 100 short films each year through its short film schemes. 4 flagship short film schemes operated nationwide: Cinema Extreme, The Completion Fund, The Magic Hour, and Blank Slate. The remaining short film funding offered by the UK Film Council was administered by the regional screen agencies and the national screen agencies via the Digital Shorts Scheme and Digital Nation. Features produced by the UKFC New Cinema Fund had an average IMDb rating of 6.8 and a Metacritic score of over 65. It received the second highest rating out of all UK film funding bodies during that period in both categories. Films supported by the fund included James Marsh's Oscar-winning Man on Wire, Armando Iannucci's In the Loop, Jane Campion's Bright Star, Andrea Arnold's Fish Tank, Dominic Murphy's White Lightning, Sally Potter's Rage, Noel Clarke's Adulthood, Ken Loach's The Wine That Shakes the Barley, Shane Meadows's This Is England, Kevin MacDonald's Touching the Void, Andrea Arnold's Red Road, Paul Andrew Williams's London to Brighton, Alexis Dos Santos's Unmade Beds, and Dwayne Hopkins's Better Things. The Premier Fund invested £8 million of lottery funding per year into mainstream, commercially driven films, encouraging the involvement of British creative talent in a range of films to attract international audiences. Funded films included Mike Leigh's award-winning Happy-Go-Lucky, Oliver Gerald McMorrow's Franklin, Christopher Smith's Triangle, Oliver Parker's Dorian Gray, Stephen Frears as Sherry, Bob Vide's How to Lose Friends and Alienate People, Anand Tucker's And When Did You Last See Your Father, Julian Gerald's Brideshead Revisited, Oliver Parker and Barnaby Thompson's St. Trinian's, Rupert Wyatt's The Escapists, Roger Michel's Venus, Vito, Rocco's Faint Heart, and Gabor Csupo's The Secret of Monica. The Office of the British Film Commissioner worked to ensure that the UK remained an attractive production base for international films. Activities included encouraging and supporting international films being made in the UK, strengthening the UK's production infrastructure, promoting UK talent and product around the world, working with the UK's government to ensure that film-friendly policies were in place, and reviewing and developing international co-production treaties, allowing the UK to collaborate with other countries to make films. Distribution and exhibition. The UK Film Council's Distribution and Exhibition Department worked to make non-mainstream films more widely available to cinema audiences in the UK through the following schemes. The Print and Advertising Fund provided £2 million per year to help UK distributors produce extra prints of non-mainstream or more commercially focused British films, or to publicise films more effectively through advertising and other channels. The Cinema Access Programme provided £350,000 to help cinemas purchase subtitling and audio description technologies that improve the cinema-going experience for people with hearing and sight impairments. The program also provided funds to yourlocalcinema.com, the film listings website, a choice for filmgoers with sensory impairments, and the Film Print Provision Strand, an ongoing funding initiative that helps distributors produce fully accessible film prints. The Digital Fund for Non-Theatrical Exhibition, a £500,000 fund to help expand the activities of film clubs, societies, community groups and mobile film exhibitors in order to improve viewing opportunities for audiences in rural areas across the UK that might not be able to support a full-time cinema. The Digital Screen Network, a £12 million investment to equip 240 screens in 210 cinemas across the UK with digital projection technology to give UK audiences much greater choice. Capital funding. The small capital fund provided £800,000 to help smaller cinemas meet the costs of essential building refurbishments and other improvements such as disabled access, and the Capital and Access Fund for Cinemas provided £500,000 to help cinemas upgrade their equipment and premises to improve the cinema-going experience for audiences. FindAnyFilm.com, the film search engine which told users when, where and how a film is available in the UK, legally and across all formats and platforms: cinema, TV, DVD and Blu-ray sale or rental, or download. Education and training. The UKFC also funded the Skillset Film Skills Fund, which ensured a supply of skilled professionals in line with market demand and aims to build a bigger and better future for the film industry in the UK. As the first ever comprehensive training strategy for the British film industry, it was launched in September 2003. First Light, a digital, short filmmaking scheme that offered children and young people more opportunities to participate in and learn about filmmaking. FILMCLUB, free to all state after-school programs in England. FILMCLUB opened the world of film to school children with free DVDs for screenings, visits from film professionals and an interactive website. Regional and national film activity. The UKFC funded 9 regional screen agencies via its Regional Investment Fund for England, which provided funding for production, screen commissions, cinema exhibition, training, archives and education within each English region. These were M Media, Film London, Northern Film and Media, Northwest Vision and Media, Screen East, Screen South, Screen West Midlands, Screen Yorkshire and South West Screen. It also funded 3 national screen agencies responsible for developing film, television and broadcast new media in the UK nations: Scottish Screen, Northern Ireland Screen, and the Film Agency for Wales. Film Culture and History. The UKFC also part-funded the British Film Institute, which champions moving image culture, education and cinema heritage to benefit as wide an audience as possible and aims to deepen and encourage public debate about film. The BFI was responsible for delivering that part of the UKFC's strategy, to help UK audiences enjoy the best of British and world cinema. Response to abolition. On the 26th of July 2010 it was announced that the council would be abolished. Actors and professionals including James McAvoy, Emily Blunt, Pete Postlethwaite, Damian Lewis, Timothy Spall, Daniel Barber and Ian Holm campaigned against the council's abolition. The move also led American actor and director Clint Eastwood to write to the British Chancellor of the Exchequer George Osborne in August 2010 to protest the decision to close the council. Eastwood warned Osborne that the closure could result in fewer foreign production companies choosing to work in the UK. A grassroots online campaign was launched and a petition established by supporters of the council. Countering this, a few professionals including Michael Winner, Julian Fellows, Chris Atkins supported the government's decision. A number of other organisations such as Save the British Film Industry responded positively. At the closure of the UK Film Council on 31 March 2011, The Guardian reported that the UKFC's entire annual budget was a reported £3 million, while the cost of closing it down and restructuring is estimated to have been almost 4 times that amount. One of the UKFC's last films, The King's Speech, is estimated to have cost $15 million to make and grossed $235 million, besides winning several Academy Awards. UKFC invested $1.6 million for a 34% share of net profits, a valuable stake which passed to the British Film Institute.